So first, if you are creating web application, you first go to a new project. Then now if you install the web version, you will see all these models. So I'll just use simple Java web application. Next, I have to browse to my workspace. So I'll browse to my workspace. So I'll browse to the workspace. Then I'll name this one reservation. Then next, then you specify the server that will be running. Now you should know that this server that you are specifying is what? Your web container. It contains your web container. So it could be Tomcat or server. I've installed only two, so I'll just choose the Tomcat. Then these frameworks, at the moment you are not doing any of them today, but we'll talk about them maybe on Monday. Finish. So now that I have this, let's go through the file structure. You can see you have the web pages folder. This is where you put your web pages. And when we were discussing the servlet, you asked to put all our pages in NF. So this is where you put all your web pages. This is where you put all your web pages. Then this source package, it will contain your normal Java codes. Normal Java codes. That's what I'll try and do. And I said all your libraries, you can add the libraries here or they will come here. I would like to connect to a database through JSP page. So I'll add a MySQL connector. I'll add it. This is a simple JSP page. When I run it, it will run the default page that came with it. If I don't like it, I can delete it and create new JSP page or HTML or any other thing that I want. But the purpose of this is to use the JSP tags. And you can see from here, this is a directive tag. It's a page directive tag. The content type is HTML like text. Then the page encoding is UHTF. So this tells you this a JSP page. But everything inside is normal HTML. Now, within the body, I assume I want to display. Let me try some code here. The tags are percentage. Now this is a declaration. I just want to declare an integer. I'll just say int age is equal to 20. Then I'll terminate it. If I want to display the age, I'll just say percentage equal to. I'll close it. And I'll just say age okay. Let me see whether it has deployed. So this is the hello world and it's printing the age 23. If I want to get two values from the user using any web form, I get those values, put them here, do whatever you want to do. If I want to write a full Java code, I'll use the striplet. I'll use a scriptlet. Then I'll create a method. Public void say hi. Then here I'll say let me call the method here and see whether it will work. The equal sign say hi. I'll try and do database connection here. As I start typing connection, I'll choose from what the connection dot. Maybe I choose automatically it imports for me. You can see it. The page directive imports for me. So con is equal to driver manager dot get connection. No, I'm creating a new one. I'm creating a new connection from the JSP page. I'm creating a new connection from the JSP page. But before that, let me just create the parameters. So I'll just say string username is equal to root, mine is root, string password or pass, mine is empty, string driver is equal to, what's the driver? com dot mysql dot jdbc dot driver. Then string db url is equal to what? JDBC colon mysql colon 2// localhost colon 3306 / webtech. Was it webtech? I'll do everything here. Webtech. Then I'll pass these parameters to it. So I'll just say URL is what? db URL, username, you have username, and the password is also passed. But before that, I need to load the driver. So class dot for name, then I'll pass the driver to it. Dot new instance. And see, we are not even being asked of any exception because the servlet exception will handle it for us. So we've connected to our database. Let's check if there's any connection. So we check if con is not equal to null. The same logic. But this time, you can't use J option pin here because this is not an applet. This is a servlet. So I'll just display, I'll break out of this and display what? An HTML page. So to break it, I'll just close this tag, just like PHP. Then I'll start another one. Then here, I'll just say H2 or H3. connected. So if this is disconnected, else, so the else will break out of it, else no connection or not connected. So let's save it and we try this page and see. There's an error somewhere. Okay. I said try, so I've not closed it. So let me just put this guy in try catch block. So try this code. Then before I close it, I'll close it and I'll say finally. Just any finally block. So try this code and finally run it. So let me run it and see. Okay, so you start reading the error. JDBC communication error. Maybe my distance is not up. So communication link failure. Connection refused. You couldn't connect. Are you seeing what I'm reading? Anytime I get these errors, look at the header. Connection refused. Communication link failure. Communication exception. So let me close this guy and run it again. You go to our page and see whether you've added a library, right? Okay. Now because I've not started my distance. So it's now what? Connected. So let me create a statement and pull the data from the database. Then I'll display it in the page. Now, the last time when you're doing the database, I told you have 4 main classes, but I spoke of 3: the connection statement and what? The result set. There's another one we call prepare statement. Prepare statement. It's just like the statement, but this time that one, it prevents what we call SQL injection. You know what an SQL injection is? When you ask the user to submit a form, enter your username, enter your password, and all those things. I can just go and type select all from users, then I'll terminate it. That's a query. It will pass the string and it will execute it. I cannot even drop your table or drop anything. Usually username are boys use users for the table or register. They will just be trying, then they will get you. And this is as a result because you are passing a raw string onto the what? The query. When you are creating a query, assuming here, when I create. So if it's access connected, now I want to display connected. I want to display something for the database here. So here I'll create prepared statement. PS prepared statement. Now just like the any statement, the prepared statement also depends on what? The connection. So I'll just say PS dot PS is equal to con dot create statement. Hope the connection is available here. Con. You let me create my query. String query is equal to select star from, was it student table, right? Select star from student, select all from student. If I were to let's try with statement first. Statement, let me see the import statement. I imported from the wrong package, that's why I was getting an error. Always make sure you import from what? The .sql. So here, prepare statement ps let me comment this. Oh, just remove it. Prepare statement, and I choose from this. Then ps, I'll say ps is equal to con dot prepare statement. Then I have to pass the query to it. So select all from what? The database. So this should what? Select everything from the database for me. Select all from students. Now after getting this, we'll do our usual either update or what? Execute query. So I'll just type result set. The result set is still used yet. Result set rs is equal to ps dot execute query. So this one will execute the query, and I'll check while the same statement rs dot next while there's data in the database. Then while the data in the database, I want to display the data in each row. So to get the data, what is being stored in the system? String. Let me check my database quickly and see. So string, let me just string name, string maybe ID, level, I now remember level. Then I'll just say rs dot get string. I'll pass the column name to what? Name. Then I'll set this value to be name. So name is equal to this. Then I'll do the same for the level. So level is equal to rs dot what? Get string. And I'll pass level to it. I'll pass level to it. So I want to break out of this and display this in what? The form. Or HTML, any of the tags. I just want to display this in a tag. Anyway, I just want to display. So I'll break out of the loop. So this one breaks it for me. So I'll break out of the loop. Then here I'll not just say connected, but I want to display this name. So I'll use scriptlet, the expression. So here I'll just type another. This video doesn't look nice, but that's how I should go by it. So name is equal to this. Then I'll terminate it. So I'll just type maybe your name is, or name is. Then I'll do the same for level. Level is. Then I'll use the expression tag to display it. So that one to level. And I'll close it. So I'm trying to go through the database, get the data, and display them one by one as I look through the what? The database. So you have a student, then you have an ID, a name, and a level. Okay, so this should work for us. So let me just save it, then I'll run it and see the outcome. You can see we are getting what? The data from the what? The database directly in what? Our what? JSP. So you can do everything in the JSP without even involving any what servlet. And this approach is what we call what the model one what approach. We just connected to the database, but the problem with this one is that you always be repeating the same code several times. It doesn't look nice. So that's why the module 2 approach came, where you separate them into what MVC, the model, the view, and the controller. Your servlet will be your model, and the view will be your controller. So let me just format this guy to be nice. I'll put a break statement here. I'll break it anytime I look through. So you see name, Steve level, KG, name this, name this. So if you have a list box that you want to prompt in the database, you don't hard code them, you put them in the database, then you look through it, then you get all your data with a servlet, with a JSP. So first, we just created a JSP page, and you can see this import statement. I didn't type them myself. The ID generated them or imported them automatically, just like we are doing the normal SC application. So you can now, if I want to insert into the database, let's create a nice UI, like a form. You get the data, then we insert into what? The database. So let me put the form up here. So I'll just create a simple form. Form action post. The action is what? Where I want to go, right? The method is post, and I'll close the form. Then within the form, I'll create input tags. Let me just drag and drop. Let me even drag and drop the whole form. So palette, form, just paste the form. Action, just leave that action. The name of the form. So there's the form. There's no action at the moment. Let me try and see whether it will submit to yourself. Then I'll drag two tests for name and what? Level. So you have name and what? Level. Then JSP comes with some implicit objects. Out is one of them. If you want to display onto the stream, use the out to get. You have session, you have request, you have response. They are implicit. So if I want to get the value of this one and insert into the database, this is what I'll just do. Assuming I want to insert this into the database, I'll just come here. I want to do it here, where I will be in the block. There. I want to come out of this. I want to insert in the final block. So let me do my insertion in the final block. I already have this in a different block, so it will not work. Let me do the insertion after here. So within this same block, I'll just try and say to insert, I'll change the query. Query is equal to what? Insert into student. Remember, we are still using the what? Prepare statement. Insert into student. Then you pass the parameters. Now the parameters are what? Name, comma, level, values, and the normal you should be passing the what? The values one by one. But if you are using prepare statement, you just pass question mark, comma, question mark. So this is how you go by the what? Prepare statement. I will terminate my query. Then here I have to prepare the statement again. So I'll just use the same prepare statement. PS is equal to con dot prepare statement. Then I'll pass the query to it. But before I do that, now that I've set this to be question mark, I have to pass the actual values to it. And this I was expecting what? A name and a what? A level. So you have some method in the PS. So I'll just say PS dot set string. set string which takes two parameters. So the name of that parameter and the value that I want to send. And this one is an index. It takes an integer. 1 refers to the first semicolon. So when I say 1, this one refers to the first one. And the first one, I was expecting what? A name. So I'll give it a name. Then the second one, ps.set string, the same thing. This time 2. So the numbering has to do with what? The number of what? Question marks that you have in your application. So level. Yes. It's just like if we were to, now here you have to get the values from what? You have to get the values from. So this is what I'll do. I want to reuse this name values here. So I'll just pass the name here. Name, then level. But at the moment, this name and level are what? Empty. So with JSP, you still have the request and what? The response object. So I'll use the request object. You know you type request, you can see it's coming. HTTP servlet request. So request dot what? Get parameter. Get parameter. And the name of this one was what? Name, as we did it in the what? In the form. So name. This one get the name for me. But I need to set the name to this. So name is equal to this. Why is it complaining? Why is it complaining? Let me check something. Not this one. It's supposed to give me the value. I don't know why it's complaining. So when you get, where do you send it? Let me see what it wants from me. Get a parameter. Resume. So let me just redefine. So form name, then string, form level, request dot get parameter, and I'll pass the level to it. So I have to come and change this one here. So this will be form name. Form name. This will be what? Form level. Now that I have the parameter set, just as I did up there, I have to what? Execute what? Update. So I'll just do result set res is equal to ps dot execute. It's not correct, so tell me. So I'll save it. No, this is supposed to be an update because I'm inserting. execute update, and the update returns an integer. So let me save and run it and see. There's an error somewhere. Let me see my code. Let me close my parentheses and see. No, I'm just inserting it. Let me run it and read the error log. It's line 69. Line 69. 69. This one is not closing anyone. So I have some stray. This time. So let me run it again. Okay. I didn't even add a submit button. So let me add a submit button to my page. So I just break it. Break. Then I'll add a submit button. I'll just drag and drop. I'll save it, run it again. So coffee. You have coffee. Okay, it saved it, but because I refresh, it will resave it again several times. I'm just showing you that you can get it and save and do everything within the same page. So you can just have one JSP page. You'll be doing all those things in the page.